When the world was created, legends say the Titans created the mortal races. They made the Trogs from stone, but deemed the Trogs to be an experimental failure and locked them away deep within the earth. They then tried again, creating a new race out of stone, and what resulted were the Earthen, the predecessors to the Dwarves. At least, that's what we know so far. The truth may be held within the Titan Vault known as Uldaman. Uldaman is a series of earthen facilities buried within the mountain range of Kaz Modan. While the Dwarven Explorers League discovered it prior to the Third War, they had to abandon their excavations in order to assist in the war effort. After the tunnel's structures were vacated, Trogs and Dark Iron Dwarves moved in. The Dark Irons presumably wished to claim Uldaman's secrets for themselves. The Titans have left Guardians of Stone to protect Uldaman from those who would plunder it. Uldaman is located at the northern extent of the Badlands, with a minimum level to enter being level 30. It is advised for levels 35 through 45. Uldaman contains 8 bosses, the first boss being Revelosh, who drops Revelosh's gloves, Revelosh's arm guards, Revelosh's boots, and Revelosh's spalders. The second encounter in the instance is for Horde only. This is with the Lost Dwarves. Balog drops precision arrows and the Nordic Longshank. Eric the Swift drops worn running boots and the horned Viking helmet. And Olaf drops Olaf's all-purpose shield. The next boss is Ironea, who drops Stoneweaver's leggings, Ironshod bludgeon, and Ironea's bracers. The Obsidian Sentinel is part of a mage-only quest, which will be covered later in the video. The Ancient Stone Keeper drops Crag Fists and Rockshard pauldrons. Galan Firehammer drops Emberscale Cape, Flameseer Mantle, Galan's Firehammer, and Galan's Fire Blaster. Grimlock drops Grimlock's Charge, Grimlock's Tribal Vestments, and Oilskin Leggings. And finally Arcadus drops Arcadic Stone, Stone Slayer, and the Rock Pounder. Uldaman contains 4 Horde-only quests, 8 Alliance-only quests, and 2 neutral quests. Starting with the Horde, Reclaimed Treasures starts and ends with Patrick Garrett, located in the center of the Undercity. This quest requires you to bring back the Garrett family treasures, which are located in the South Common Hall of Uldaman, located outside of the instance portal. Power Stones starts and ends with Wrigglefuzz in the Badlands. This quest requires you to loot 8 Dentrium Power Stones and 8 Annalium Power Stones from the Shadowforge dwarves that are located in and outside of the instance. Uldaman Reagent Run starts and ends with Jarkal Mossmeld in Kargath of the Badlands. This quest requires you to loot 12 magenta fungus caps that are gathered inside or outside of the instance. Be careful while doing this quest, as they will give you magenta cap sickness, which lowers all stats by 10, so make sure to bring a way to dispel this debuff. The Shattered Necklace quest chain for the Horde starts with Dran Droffers in the Drag of Orgrimmar. The first quest in the series is called Necklace Recovery. This quest requires you to bring the Shattered Necklace to Dran Droffers. Finishing this quest will then give you Necklace Recovery Take 2, which will send you into the instance and requires you to find the remains of a paladin located in a corridor next to Revelosh. This will then give you the quest Translating the Journal, which is turned into Jarkal Mossmeld in Kargath of the Badlands. After you complete that quest, you will receive Find the Gems and Power Source. This quest requires you to loot a Shattered Necklace Topaz, a Shattered Necklace Ruby, a Shattered Necklace Sapphire, and a Shattered Necklace Power Source. The Topaz is located in a conspicuous urn near the Lost Dwarves in Dig 2. The Ruby is located in a shadow-forged crate next to Galan Firehammer in Dig 3. The Sapphire is dropped by Grimlock, and the Power Source will be dropped by Arcadis. After you've retrieved all 4 of those items, go back to Jarkal Mossmeld. You'll then receive Delivering the Gems, which will take you back to Dran Droffers in Orgrimmar, who will then give you Necklace Recovery Take 3, which finally takes you back to Jarkal Mossmeld. Moving on to the Alliance, Reclaimed Treasures starts and ends with Crom's Stout Arm in the Hall of Explorers in Ironforge. This quest requires you to loot Crom's Stout Arm's treasure, which is located in a chest in the North Common Hall of Uldaman, in the caves outside the instance portal. Amulet of Secrets starts and ends with Hammertoe Grez, who is located in the caves of Uldaman outside of the instance. This quest requires you to loot Hammertoe's amulet from Magrigan Deep Shadow near Dig 1 in the caves outside of the instance. Amulet of Secrets is part of a chain that begins with a Sign of Hope, which starts with the crumpled map in Hammertoe's dig site in the Badlands. The Lost Dwarves starts with Prospector Stormpike in the Hall of Explorers in Ironforge, and ends with Balog, one of the Lost Dwarves inside of the instance. This quest simply requires you to speak with Balog. After completing the Lost Dwarves, you will receive the Hidden Chamber from Balog. For this quest, you must combine the Nikiv Medallion, which is in a chest next to Balog, and the Shaft of Soul, which drops from Revelosh, to assemble the Staff of Prehistoria and place it in the device in the map room. Doing this will begin the fight with Ironea. You must kill her and fully explore her hidden chamber to receive credit for this quest. It is then turned in with Prospector Stormpike in the Hall of Explorers in Ironforge. Aldermen Reagent Run starts and ends with Gak Heel Touch. This quest, similar to the Hordes, requires you to loot 12 magenta fungus caps, which are gathered from inside or outside of the instance. Remember again that these will give you the magenta cap sickness, so make sure you have a way to dispel that. Agmond's Fate starts and ends with Prospector Ironband, located in Ironband's excavation site in Loch Modan. This quest requires you to loot 4 carved stone urns. These can be found in Dig 1 outside of the instance. Agmond's Fate is part of a quest chain that begins with Ironband Wants You, provided by Prospector Stormpike in the Hall of Explorers in Ironforge. The Lost Tablets of Will starts and ends with Advisor Belgrim in the Hall of Explorers of Ironforge. This quest requires you to pick up the Tablet of Will, which is found inside of Uldaman, next to Galgan Firehammer. This is a continuation of the same quest chain that contained Amulet of Secrets mentioned previously. Finally, the Shattered Necklace quest chain for the Alliance starts with the Shattered Necklace, which drops from Shadowforge or Shadow Vault mobs outside or inside of the instance. After you have the Shattered Necklace, you'll want to then get 5 silver bars and go back to Talvash Del Kissel in the Mystic Ward of Ironforge. The 5 silver bars are used for the quest Lore for a Price, which is the next step in the chain. After that, Talvash Del Kissel will give you back to Uldaman. You will go back to the instance to find the remains of a paladin in the corridor next to Revelosh. You'll then use Talvash's Vial of Scrying in your inventory to complete back to Uldaman and accept Find the Gems. This quest requires you to loot the Shattered Necklace Topaz, the Shattered Necklace Ruby, and the Shattered Necklace Sapphire. The Topaz is located in a conspicuous urn near the Lost Dwarves in Dig 2. The Ruby is in a shadow-forged crate near Galgan Firehammer. And the Sapphire is looted off of Grimlock. After you have the 3 necklace pieces, use the Vial of Scrying again to turn in Find the Gems and accept Restoring the Necklace. This quest will require you to kill Arcadis and loot the Shattered Necklace Power Source. After you have the Shattered Necklace Power Source, you can finally return to Talvash Del Kissel in the Mystic Ward of Ironforge to claim your reward. Moving on to the neutral quests, Solution to Doom starts and ends with Theldrin the Lost in the Southern Badlands. This quest requires you to pick up the Tablet of Reuna. This is located in a chest in Dig 1 outside of the instance portal. The Platinum Discs starts and ends with the Discs of Norgannon. This quest simply requires you to speak with the Lore Watcher and continue through all of his dialogue. After you have finished listening to the Lore Watcher, you can receive the second part of the quest chain, also called the Platinum Discs. For the Horde, this is turned in to Sage Truthseeker in Thunderbluff. For the Alliance, it is turned in with High Explorer Mageless, located in the Hall of Explorers of Ironforge. Finally, the Mage-only quest starts and ends with Tabitha in Dustwallow Marsh. This quest requires you to loot an Obsidian Power Source from the Obsidian Sentinel inside of the instance. That's going to wrap up this quick look at the lore and quests of Uldaman. This video is quite a bit longer than the other videos in the series, and frankly, it confused me a little bit while I was making it. So if there's any clarification needed, I will link to all of the quests in the description down below. I'd like to offer a special thank you to Minorou over on barons.chat for allowing me to use his dungeon lore compendium post for the lore section of these videos. He's written up great pieces of lore on each dungeon available within Classic and broken it up into 255 character paragraphs, so it'll be great to share with your groups as you're going through the dungeons when Classic launches. I'll put a link to his page down in the description down below. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and subscribe for my next video, which is going to be on Zul'Farrak. Until then, have a great rest of your day, and thank you very much for watching.